welcome to the first episode of What the Hell Are You Talking About? I'm LJ, that's Lemar. This is basically a sports talk podcast. We talk about the events of the week and um, just our given takes on sports in general. We may go off on tangents, we may argue, we may cuss at each other, but it's all in fun. So
Yeah.
this will. I want to my co-host to introduce himself.
I'm Lamar. I'm a Knicks fan, Niners fan, Yankees fan, but we're going to be talking too much baseball, but Yankee fan.
I'm LJ. I'm a Knicks fan as well. I'm a Giant fan. I'm a Mets fan, and I'm a Michigan fan. For anyone who would like to talk a little sports,
Chuck a little bit more into the mic.
yeah, for anyone who would like to talk a little bit of sports, college basketball or college football, I don't know a damn thing, I just follow it when the championships start rolling around.
There you go. All right, so I guess we will start, with the James Harden MVP situation. Now, I mean, we all know he's the MVP now, and he should be. But they were saying on radio shows and stuff that he shouldn't be unanimous MVP because people like Jordan and LeBron did get. I'm like, all right, well, how about my take is, how about y'all just stop worrying about unanimous? If he gets unanimous, he gets unanimous. How about we start making people unanimous who deserves to be unanimous and forget about because this guy didn't get it, that guy didn't get it. Then, I mean, all unanimous means that everybody vote for him. So my thing is like, why is it like doesn't make the MVP more of an MVP? It just makes it an MVP. So how about that's one or two idiots that vote for people like Carmelo when it should be LeBron or you know what I mean? How about y'all stop just doing that? You know what I mean?
I know you remember this years ago, but someone voted for P.J. Brown. One vote for P.J. Brown MVP. And whoever voted for P.J. Brown to be MVP, this is way beyond his years as, even a starter. I think he was on the bench. Maybe he was a starter for like a couple games. But for someone to vote for P.J. Brown to be MVP, that person should not be able to vote. James Harden right now, he's averaging 30 points and 8 assists. But, a few months ago, he was averaging 32 and 9, which is something I've never seen.
Right.
So even for a shooting guard, Russell
Right.
Westbrook, but he was a point guard, and he's way less efficient than James Harden.
Right.
So.
And I thought James Harden should have got it last year. I wouldn't have gave it to Westbrook. I don't care if you average a triple-double. If your team is not that good. I mean, they were a playoff team, and he was the big reason for it. But I'm just like, I would like to more reward the team who was the top 2 or 3 in their conference at least. And I mean, Westbrook, wasn't they like 5th or 6th last year?
Yeah. I think. I don't know why they started just awarding people MVP just for numbers now.
Yeah, because that's not what it's about.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the best player on the best team.
Right.
That's what MVP is about. But I've also heard people. Well, people when I say like journalists, I heard them say things like, hold on, something saying having trouble seeing me or whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely better. Whatever you just did.
It was better now?
A little bit. It just got.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but yeah, you're right in terms of your video. It's kind of.
Well, my video's kind of dark because
dark.
Yeah, you want me to turn on the lights? I'll turn on the lights. You know what I'm saying?
It's
That's
up
not
to you,
man.
However you want to be, dog.
Right, I'll
It's your
turn on
world.
the lights. Man. I'll turn on the lights. All right. You go ahead. You talk. You do some time. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to turn on these lights. All
Yo,
right?
pour me a glass of orange juice while you up.
All right, see.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to a few other topics. Like, the James Harden thing just kind of bothered me. I was just like wondering why is it such a big deal to people that for us to not be unanimous just because LeBron or Jordan or people more worthy. Like, yeah, they were more worthy, but there were idiots voting. So it's like, stop voting like an idiot. Like start taking away credentials from people who vote for people like that. Like, if you vote for somebody that's way left field, then take away their credential.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. If somebody were to vote for, say, like a Carmelo Anthony or someone, I can understand people voting for LeBron.
Right.
This time around, he's actually playing really well.
Right.
And I think we should start.
The problem with him is his team is in like third, and they're underachieving. Well, they're underachieving, but at the same time they're kind of not, because with all the issues they had with injuries and chemistry, so they are underachieving, but they're also kind of not.
Yeah, but and another thing is the best team in the East is Toronto. Yeah. So are we going to give DeRozan the MVP?
No,
that's not going to happen.
They're a nice complete team. Oh, come on, mighty text. They're a nice complete team, and DeRozan is the best player on that team, but he's no MVP. They're just not. They're a nice, well-rounded team. Like, they got a bunch of players that I don't know, but when I watch them, they all can score. So I was like, okay, well, I guess they can all score. They're all pretty good.
Is Dwayne Casey still the head coach?
Yeah, he still is.
He's been the head coach for like 10 seasons.
Yeah, and right? they're pretty solid. They're pretty consistent, man. About what's happening. That's all you're gonna get from out of that team. Like, they're gonna be good, but they're not ever gonna be a championship team with DeRozan and Kyle Lowry as your best player. It's just that. That's just as far as they're gonna get.
Lowry.
And make sure you're closer to the mic, because you sound like you was losing. I was losing you there. Okay. There you go. Yeah, now I can see the mic. That's better. Yeah, man. Get up in here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's the mic now, right?
Yeah. And
yes.
Oh, well, I want to talk about you being a Giants fan.
Okay.
What do you think they should do with the second pick in the draft? I know what they're talking about they're gonna do, but what they should do?
All right. Well, I think that we're not going to be this bad anymore. We're never going to get an opportunity like this where we had the second overall pick. So pretty much you go for a quarterback at this point. But the thing is, we still have Eli, who has a few more years left in him. He's our age. He's going to be 30. He's 37. So he doesn't really have that much time left. But we also have a quarterback backing him up, who was drafted in the third round, Davis Webb, and I really want to see see him develop, see what he can do. But it would be a tragedy for us to draft a quarterback in the second pick, and Davis Webb is the guy going forward.
Right.
So I'm sorry to say, everyone's talking about Saquon Barkley. We should draft him, but we got to go for the quarterback. I'm sorry, we got to go for it.
I couldn't agree more. I'm like, yeah, like you said, Giants are never in this position. I think now, granted, if they don't draft the quarterback, that might mean something for Davis Webb, that they see something that they have there. So that could also be a good sign, but I don't anticipate him being better than Josh Rosen. You know what I mean? So, because after all, he was a third round pick. So it's unlikely. I mean, because we all know Tom Brady was like a 6th round pick, but it's unlikely that that'll ever happen again. So it's but then again, they're closer to the situation. So, but yeah, I would definitely draft whichever quarterback Cleveland doesn't take between Darnold and Rosen. I know you're not big on Darnold because he's from USC, but I'm not putting on the blinders like that. Like, they say he's the best guy. I'm gonna they're wrong a lot too, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say and assume that Rosen is the guy. So I would just go ahead and take Rosen if he's there. If Cleveland takes Darnold. If Cleveland takes Rosen, The Giants should take Darnold. If Cleveland takes Darnold, I think the Giants should take Rosen. Now, what about the Odell Beckham? Oh, go ahead. You was about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that Josh Allen is the presumptive top pick in the draft now.
Josh Allen?
Yeah, Josh Allen from Wyoming. No, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen from where is he from? From Wyoming.
Who cares? Nah.
They have Sam Darnold as number 2, USC going to us, and Josh Rosen going number 3 to the Jets. Baker Mayfield going to Buffalo, and they got Shaquan Barkley going to Denver. Now, Denver did pick up Case Keenum. He's not a starter.
No.
I don't care what Denver thinks.
Yeah.
They
know that because I also heard that they're also looking at whatever quarterback is left at 5. If somebody does it, because Cleveland's got the 4th pick, so there's not going to be a quarterback drafted at 4th. So they're thinking that either that maybe Mayfield, which I think would be a mistake, but they don't have much of a choice either. So you might as well just draft the quarterback or Rosen or whatever. But I'm like, whatever. Like Denver should definitely be trying to get another quarterback, but because I don't think Keenum's the answer either. But I like they said if Josh Allen drops to Miami, Miami's definitely going to take him, but I don't think he's going to drop that far now. Like all the quarterbacks are going in that top 5, I think.
Well, I've seen different drafts, mock drafts that have Josh Allen going number 8 or was it number 8?
Yeah, I heard number 8 right before, or even number 9. I hear Buffalo might trade with San Francisco to get the number 9 pick and take a quarterback there, or like I said, he may go to Miami or whatever, whoever's left at that point. I heard a lot of stuff too. I'm like, I guess we'll see what happens.
There is no consensus number 1 pick in this draft.
No,
I haven't seen the consensus number 1. First, it was Rosen. Then that quickly went away after they had their workouts. So Darnold and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I see as number 1 on a lot of different boards. But I haven't been this far along where the draft is. I mean, if this was old times, the draft would be in a couple weeks. But now, like, I don't know. The new what's his name? I forgot the president of the NFL. I forgot the guy's name.
The commissioner, you mean?
Commissioner, yeah.
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, I don't know why Goodell moved it all the way to May. I mean, come on now. Let's just get the draft over.
I don't know. It's in May?
Yeah, they moved it to May like last year, 2 years ago.
Oh, this year I think it's in April though. I think this year is in April. You looking that up?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you looked that up. What do you think about the Giants and Odell Beckham possibly trading him?
They asked for 2 first-round picks for him.
I don't think they're gonna get that though.
No one thinks it's
they're
gonna
just aiming high so they won't get screwed.
They're aiming high because he's not going anywhere. That's why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're not really. Yeah, and by the way, the draft is April 26th to 28th, so it's a little bit later in the month than I'm used to.
Right.
But Odell Beckham, he needs to get his act together for real. He, as a Giants fan, like just seeing all the nonsense and bullshit he gets into.
Yeah.
It just like he's just ever since we drafted him, he just doesn't seem like a Giant. He's just not. Yeah. He seems like not a cowboy either. He just seems like one of those AFC West type of players.
I can see him as a cowboy. I can see him.
Actually, he seems like an Eagle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to see him as a 49er. But I don't think the 49ers are interested, especially since they just paid Garoppolo. Now, teams like Philly and the Rams are interested because they still paying rookie quarterback. They ain't paying they're not once they remember what
the Rams, no, listen. I just heard something. The Rams, they have a lot of people they have to pay in the next couple of years, and Odell Beckham's contract is up this year.
Right,
his rookie deal's up.
Right, they got it. Right, so they got to re him up. Right,
they have to pay Aaron Donald. they have to pay the quarterback, and they have to pay,
not yet though, right?
The quarterback, yeah, they'll have to pay him.
I thought it was after the third year.
Is that for this year?
Oh.
They have
sure?
to re-up on him.
Oh, okay.
Before he becomes a free agent.
Right.
So yeah, they really don't have any room for him. They don't have to get rid of somebody unless they want to trade us Aaron Donald.
Well, I think what they'll do is after this season is they'll cut some of these guys. But they're trying to go all in now while they not paying the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like how Seattle did with Russell Wilson. They almost won 2 Super Bowls, and then all of a sudden they started to start cutting people and shitting. And now look at them. You know what I mean? Once they started paying Russell Wilson, they've been going downhill ever since.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're all the guys that they're going to be able to pay are the best players on their team, and they're all young.
Right.
So they have a lot of young talent on that team that they're going to have to that they drafted when they were garbage a few years ago. Right. That turned out to be something. Right. So they're gonna have to start paying these guys now.
Yeah, but in the mid, we still talking about the Rams, right?
Yes, Rams.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, and yeah, I think they're not worried about that right now. I think this year they're gonna try to win the championship, and then worry about shedding contracts. Shedding salary after that. But right now they're going all in because they got the 23rd pick, I believe, in the draft, and they talking about That's why they said they may get Beckham because there's nobody in the first round that will start for that team right now. That's how loaded they are. So they're like, well, we just give the Giants that pick and whatever else they want, maybe a second round pick or whatever, or first and the third or whatever the case is, and get Beckham, and then just go all in on this season, and maybe even next season, and then after that, you know what I mean? They'll start shedding whatever salary they need to shed to get back under the cap. But same thing with Philly. Philly's going in too. We're getting Peters and the Rams. I keep getting Philly and the Rams mixed up all of a sudden. Who did Philly get? Philly traded for I think they traded with y'all, right? Or was that the Rams too? No, that was the Rams too.
The Rams just gave us Ogletree.
Right, Ogletree, right. But yeah, they said the Eagles and the Rams are both really interested, and because they're both paying rookie quarterback salary right now. Like San Fran, we still got a lot of cap room, but not quite as much now that we just gave Garoppolo that. That's why they didn't want to use him last year. They didn't want to have to go all in on a big contract yet. They wanted to be able to pay him something modest, but not make him the highest paid. But since they played him and he went 5-0, they're like, well, I guess we got to go all in on it now. But I'm just happy we got somebody.
Well, I'm looking at the Rams roster now, and all I see are a bunch of young guys. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of expiring
25, 20, 23, 24.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys have expiring contracts. Andrew Whitworth, they got Aqib Talib. Jared Goff, his contract is over after next year.
Okay. So yeah, so after this season they got it early.
Hey,
they got a squad.
They have a squad, and now you guys have a squad. It's going to be a nice little rivalry out there.
Well, we have a quarterback. I don't think we have a squad yet. We still got to sign some players, do good in the draft, but we definitely got a quarterback, and a lot of our players. Our defense, we do got some pretty good young defensive players, but I still don't think I think we're gonna struggle. We're gonna be either just making it in the playoffs or just miss the playoffs. That's what we're gonna be next year, because the NFC is loaded. NFC got what? They got Eagles, Rams, Minnesota, Cowboys. Saints, Cowboys. Packers will probably be better with Aaron Rodgers back. Huh? Falcons, yeah. It's gonna be loaded. So I don't see us making the playoffs. So we need to re-up our roster a lot to compete just in our division now, because Seattle, even though I don't anticipate them making the playoffs, as long as they got Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, they're gonna be competing for the playoffs. You know what I mean? They're gonna be close. They're not gonna be straight garbage as long as they got them two.
Well, they just broke up the Legion of Boom, so
yeah. Well, and we got and Sherman. I don't think Sherman's even gonna make this team.
He's not going. You know what? When you told me a few weeks ago that he ruptured both Achilles,
Yeah, he ruptured one, but he had some work done on the other one. He didn't rupture both, but he had work done. That's bad enough.
Yeah, I believe that at 29 years old, his career is over.
Yeah, he'll be 30 by the time the season starts, and he was already falling off a little bit. So now that he got that injury, back in the day they could have put him at safety, but I don't even know if that works nowadays with everybody playing a spread offense. Like the safeties that used to be in the 90s and early 2000s, you need more. You just need more corners now. like you know, like Ronnie Lott wouldn't be as good in this football now because everybody's just do spread offenses. I mean, it just wouldn't be the same. But so I don't even know if you could put Sherman as safety at this point.
Well, I would compare Ronnie Lott to Troy Polamalu. He used to hit the shit out of him.
Oh yeah.
So I think that plus he was oversized for his position. I think he was 6'1", 6'2". Usually, safeties aren't really that big, right? But there's a guy from Seattle who's like huge as a safety, so he could have played linebacker too.
You talking about Earl Thomas?
Was it Earl Thomas or maybe it was Earl Thomas?
Yeah, I think they moved Earl Thomas to linebacker a lot. Like they use Earl Thomas at linebacker a lot this year, or actually like every year they do that. But yeah, and what else did I want to get to? I forgot where I heard this at, but they was talking about. I think it was on First Things First with Chris Carter and.
They are not paying us. Do not.
I think it was on them, but they was talking about it might not even been them, but they was talking about KD versus Dirk. Like they was saying, who's better? I was like, KD is better. Like Dirk is great, but he can't defend like KD. He's not athletic like KD. He can shoot. They both just as good as shoot. Like, who do you think is a better shooter? Probably Dirk. Probably a little bit better, maybe, but not by much. Like it's a toss up.
Talk about shooting, straight shooting. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think I would be willing to give Dirk the edge on shooting, but by one point though. You know what I mean? Like if you ranked him on 2K, he would be like a 98, and Durant would be like 97. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Has he ever done the 50-40-90 thing? Where he
Dirk?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about when we say 50-40-90.
Yeah, 50% shoot, 40% three, and 90% free throw.
Steve Nash did three
Steve
times.
Nash did it, yeah. Didn't Stephen Curry do it too? Last year? I know he did it. I think he did it his 2 MVP seasons. If I'm not mistaken. Well, then again, he might not have had the 40 because he shoots a lot of threes. So he might not have had the. He may
have 50. To be honest, with you.
Not from 3-point range. I doubt it. that would be unprecedented. I mean, granted, he's done a lot. He's done a lot of. Well, for somebody at his volume of shooting, it is. But
Larry Bird had 2. Mark Price had 1. Reggie Miller had 1. The '94 season he killed us.
Yeah.
Steve Nash had 4. Dirk Nowitzki had 1. The season that he got his MVP.
Okay.
And Kevin Durant had 1. Steph Curry had 1.
He got the MVP probably too, right?
The 2012 to 2013 season. Let's see who got MVP that season. I don't.
Either way, like I just don't. I'll put it like this: if you had a chance to draft either one of them, who would you draft?
Who would I draft? Either
Dirk or Durant. Yeah, exactly. I'm taking Durant. He can play multiple positions. He can play 3, 4. Dirk is strictly a 4. You know what I mean?
Well, Dirk was a project. Like they had to work with him for a little while. It's kind of like our favorite player, Porzingis.
Yeah.
Where it took Dirk a few years to get it, but then when he got it, that was it. He had his run. Kevin Durant came in the league though. He was averaging 20 a game when he was like 6'9", 199 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a shooting guard. So like he's a good defender. I'm not gonna say great. He's a good defender.
Right.
He's not disappearing anymore, but I'll take your word for it. You watch more games than I do.
Only by a little bit now, though.
Yeah,
I just started watching again.
Yeah, I just ever since the Knicks aren't, like even contending, I just can't watch it. I just can't bear to watch it. It just makes me upset.
I'm so numb to it now. I don't watch them anymore. But every now and then, if I hear something like now that they got that dude Trey Burke playing ball, I was like, all right, let me check him out a little bit, and I won't watch it before the beginning. I'll turn to it like midway through the game, and then I'll turn away from it. I'll be doing stuff, that I'll come back. I can't sit there and watch a game from beginning to end, but I will watch once every 10 games. I'll turn the game on. Like that dude, they got that other dude, the undrafted rookie Cornette. He's tall white dude, like 7 feet, I believe, and he can shoot threes. Like his first game that he played, huh? What'd you say?
Go ahead, continue.
He like his first game he played with us, he had like he had 3 threes. He had like 4 blocks. I was like, they sure that wasn't Porzingis? So I kind of was wanting to pay attention for him, but then they stopped playing him. I'm like, why? Why would you stop playing that? Why would you stop playing him? Like, our season is over. You're trying to see what our young talent is, but they just started playing him again now. So I said maybe I'll start trying to watch him just to see what he do. But every time I look at the box score, he ain't really doing much. So.
Okay, and for anybody who's listening, when we say us or we are referring to the New York Knicks. Okay?
Yeah.
When we use a royal we're talking about the New York Knickerbockers because we
are them.
Right?
Yeah. So just keep that in mind because we're gonna do that a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna do that a lot. I do that a lot especially with the Knicks and the Giants. I always say we.
Yeah.
When the team suck, I say we suck. Right? Just in case Eli Manning is listening to this podcast. Eli, I've been your teammate since 2004. All right? We suck.
Now, granted, and this is the selfishness in me, how sometimes I am, and I don't realize I'm doing it. When I'm saying bad things about my team, sometimes I say they. When I'm saying good things, I'll say we. But it's natural. I don't even try to do it that way. But I have caught myself doing that. When I be like, Knicks, I'm like, yeah, they, you know what they did? Like they blew it again. Or I'd be like, or the Knicks one, I'd be like, yeah, we won.
You're a goddamn disgrace.
I'm not proud of it, and I try to catch myself when I'm doing it, but I am who I am.
Yeah. I really, the one thing, if I were to wish any team to win a championship, and I guarantee this is what you wish too, that it was the goddamn Knicks. Yes. That would make my entire year.
Well, I've seen my 49ers win, and I've seen my Yankees win, but I've always been more of a basketball fan, and it's killing me. I'm not gonna say I'm numb to it on a daily, but when I sit there and think about it, I'm just like, man, am I ever gonna see it? And when it happens, am I gonna like cry? Like, am I gonna be that fan? Like how Cubs fans cry and or how?
Man, if
or
you
Eagles,
do that,
Eagles fans,
please record yourself, man.
Eagle fans
please
gonna like.
do.
Am I gonna be an Eagle fan and cry? Like, did you ever see the
clip?
Be
an Eagle fan and eat horse shit in the middle of the street.
Did you ever see that clip where the Eagles fan, but when Carson Wentz got hurt, he was on the radio crying like, when is it gonna be our time? When is it gonna be our year?
Yeah, I saw that on YouTube.
That's funny. It is sad. It is hilarious, but now, like, I'd like to hear that fan now because they still won. like, what do you say now? Like, are you gonna brag? Like, you didn't think this was gonna happen?
Well, who would have thought that Bill Belichick would go to a goddamn Super Bowl and shit the bed against a backup? And we had this discussion before.
Yeah, and I have it written down here. We were gonna talk about it, but we might as well talk about it now, right?
Yeah, about the goddamn backup who threw all over the Patriots. And then now I'm kind of thinking. I told you this at the time, and you took offense to it.
I did.
You took major offense to it.
All right, let me tell you how much I took offense to this. I pretty much hung the phone up on him and went to bed.
I told when he said that this guy was a starter, Nick Foles, he said he's a starter in this league. I said, well, then crown the motherfucker. And he hung up the phone on him.
I mean, well,
explain yourself.
Well, I have a perfect explanation. I have a perfect explanation, actually. Well, when he first came in the league, I don't remember if it was his rookie year or his second year. He was with the Eagles originally, and he went 10-6 with Chip Kelly, right? They went to the playoffs. And he didn't play very well in the playoffs, but, that's to be expected from a young quarterback who's never been in the playoffs. The next year, they went 10-6 again under Nick Foles. They didn't make the playoffs, but they were 10-6 again. They had 2 years where they were 10-6 under Nick Foles. So he's had success in this league as a starter, as a very young starter. So then, but Philly for some reason didn't believe in him, and he ended up in with the Rams, right, as a backup. And you can't really count the Rams because we all know how shitty Jeff Fisher is. You see, and the proof is in Case Keenum and Nick Foles both ending up in the NFC Championship, and they both were starters in the Rams and didn't look very good. So they got better offensive coordinator, offensive coaches, and all of a sudden they're both were in the NFC Championship. So, and they both couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So they were both in the NFC Championship, and if Minnesota wins, who knows what happened? I mean, because I've personally thought once Carson Wentz went down, Minnesota was kind of.
He would have lost to Minnesota too.
That's what I'm saying. I think they could have, but now again, I'm not gonna knock Belichick for losing a Super Bowl after winning. What did they won 5? They won 5 Super Bowls, and I knock him this in particular season because whatever happened with Malcolm Butler, I think that cost him just as much as anything.
That thank God you brought that up. Malcolm Butler, the only reason that he sat Malcolm Butler was because he missed some kind of curfew.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that was one reason. I think one reason was the curfew. The other reason was he didn't practice much that week because he was sick or something. Because he was sick, so. And Belichick, and he's kind of strict. So, and he has said before, he said this years ago, if you don't practice, you don't play. So, he's
it's the Super Bowl. The guy won the Super Bowl for you. The same guy who, if he wasn't there in that Super Bowl, you lose that Super Bowl to Seattle. That's it. You just lose it. Yeah. Okay, like if he's not there, if someone else maybe they don't catch the ball intercepted, maybe it bounces off their chest, and Pete Carroll says, "What the fuck was I doing? I'm gonna run the ball the next play." But he did that, and he won the Super Bowl for it.
Right.
So you play the man. He's your starter. He worked every snap this season.
Yeah, and I agree. But I also heard. Because I don't follow like I did when I was young, so I would have noticed this if I was younger. But now, I'm a little more casual with it. But they were saying that that he didn't really have that good of a season. They said he wasn't that good this season. So even though we all know who he is and what he did in the Super Bowl, and I agree with you that he should have played him, I also have to make a case for Belichick for sticking to what he believes in at all times, because it has gotten him pretty far to this point. And so it's hard for me to say what if it's hard for me to say, because if you stick to what you believe in all this time, how could I go against that now? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I would have played him, and I think I think he made the wrong decision. And just think, if he was there, they would have had a couple more stops. You know what I mean? Probably, even if it was one more, that's all they would have needed to win that Super Bowl.
Right. That's all they would have needed, and they would have had their 6, and they would have put themselves on the top. They're already at the top, because I don't think anyone's going to get 5 Super Bowls. I really don't.
Right.
But that would have cemented him.
Right.
As somebody with gaudy numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of like Jordan's numbers were gaudy when he retired. Now they don't look as gaudy.
Right.
Because, a lot of people are doing 30 a game at this point in NBA. So if you look back at Michael Jordan, for people who weren't around during that time, they think that he wasn't that great, averaging 30 a game, man. But getting 6 Super Bowls is something that will never happen again.
Yeah. No, forget about it. I can't imagine that ever happening again.
Even getting 5 for one coach is going to be ridiculous. Staying in one place, like being the GM and being the coach, staying in one place and being that consistent for over 18 seasons is ridiculous.
Yeah.
In football, in basketball, it's relatively easier, but
yeah, basketball is like it's gonna happen in every decade. Somebody's gonna win a bunch of championships. Like, one team is just gonna be better than everybody, and especially.
How long do you think Golden State's run is gonna be?
It's hard to say, because I think Stephen Curry still gets injured a lot. And all it takes is him to get hurt at the wrong time for them to not beat Houston or Cleveland. You know what I mean? If he can't play against Houston, I think Houston can beat them. If he can't play against Cleveland, I mean, he'll be back in time for that. But what I'm saying is, let's say he gets hurt again. Same thing with, say, Durant.
I don't trust D'Antoni to win anything.
I don't either. But if I could see, barring any untimely injuries, I could see them winning at least 2 more. Well, this year, next year, and then I don't know after that. We'll see if Klay Thompson decides to stay. that could, assuming they all stay together, I can see them winning at least 2. I can see them winning 2 or 3 more. It's gonna be hard to beat them.
Well, Steph Curry is 30 now, but and like you said, he has a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they can keep this. I'm not sure if they can keep this squad together for that much longer. I think that Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson's gonna leave.
I hope he does. I'm tired of them already. I hope he win. I hope he leaves. Get out of there. I mean, I still think they can win without him, but make it a little more difficult.
Yeah. If he does leave, come to New York.
Oh, that'd be lovely. But
will we put him as a small forward?
No, he'd be the shooting guard. Tim Hardaway plays small forward now, so.
I think that he works better as small forward. To be honest with you,
he's a better defensive player, so he can guard a small forward probably better.
And plus, small forwards just stay out in the out. What's Reggie Miller called the titty?
Really?
Remember he did that during the game.
I don't know.
Reggie Miller was commentating during the game. He was like, "Yeah, you have to stand out on the titty." And I think Jim Gray was commentating with him. He just said, "All right, Reggie, we're just gonna move on."
I don't remember that.
And Reggie Miller's like, "Come on, it's the titty."
Wow.
He's like, "I can't say that. What do you mean?"
Oh,
like,
you know what's been a topic also lately? All of a sudden, Dwayne Wade is starting to move down on the top shooting guard list of all time.
well,
James Harden.
James Harden is better than him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, James Harden is just better than him.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade in his prime would have. Do you think he would have stopped James Harden now? Even him.
I think he would do. I think he would do a good job on James Harden. I mean, I don't think he would shut him down, but nobody gets shut down in the NBA anymore because if you really think about it, how many players are considered good defenders anymore? There's only like a handful. There's only a handful you think of. Kawhi Leonard, because even LeBron doesn't play hard on defense anymore. Like only he picks his spots because he's older. So LeBron, if you watch LeBron during the game, he don't play. It's a lot of times where he don't do nothing on defense. He be looking at everybody else, but like I'm like, what are you doing though? but he picks his spots. Like in the playoffs, he don't do that. He don't do that really. I think Wade would be able to hold his own against Harden, and I think Wade is a better all-around player from the offensive defense. But in terms of offense defense, James Harden's better in terms of passing, scoring. James Harden's a much better scorer. He's a volume scorer. He can't. He's unstoppable. But
if you want to break down Dwayne Wade's game, all right. When Dwayne Wade
talk closer to the mic.
Okay, if you want to break down Dwayne Wade's game, when Dwayne Wade first came to his league, he was a point guard. That first season, he was a point guard. Eddie Jones was a shooting guard. So he played point guard throughout his whole life, basically. Yeah. So he plays like a point guard. He takes the ball to the basket, he passes the ball. He plays good defense, like classic point guards.
Yeah. Right.
When he gains his weight, I'm talking about muscle mass, and they start putting him at shooting guard, that he can be a volume scorer when he wants to be. His jump shot was never really. His jump shot is okay. It's not really bad. I've been critical of his jump shot in the past, but I think his jump shot is. I think his jump shot's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's not. It's okay.
Mid-range, right.
Yeah, but his 3-pointer is non-existent.
Right. Right. Yeah. He's just not a good 3-point shooter. He never will be at this point.
He never was. He never will be. His defense was great because he came when the league was transitioning from guys to be a little bit more physical, and Dwayne Wade was pretty good defending guys, especially getting to the basket. So he was a physical defender. James Harden is a guard, period. Like he's 6'5", 220, and he moves like someone a lot smaller than him. Right. He's strong. He can get to the line. He does that cheap. He does that cheap move where he think that he's gonna like trip you up on when he's
his elbows be flailing a little bit, like his elbows be like somewhere up here, like while he driving. I'm like, what are you doing?
and that step back is very deadly. When he steps back.
You mean when he takes 2 steps back?
Yes.
Dribbling.
He travels, he holds the ball and jumps back and shoots it. That ball's going in.
I never saw nobody drive to the 3-point line before. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that ball's going in. He can score that ball like no one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, as far as offense alone, he's better than Jordan, and that's gonna get me a bunch of hate mail. By the way, if you want to,
I don't know about that one.
Mail,
I'm not gonna go that far.
Hold up. If you want to get some hate mail, it's Lemar and LJ at gmail.com. I think that James Harden offensively can do more than Michael Jordan ever could. He can pass the ball. Michael Jordan was a good mid-range shooter and really good at getting to the basket. The best I've ever seen getting to the basket, not Lane LeBron.
Yeah. Okay.
So he does what Kobe does. James Harden can do what Michael Jordan does. He's not as athletic. He's not athletic. He's not. He's just young. So
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. As far as all right, offensive talent, you can make that argument, but until he starts consistently playing well in the postseason, I mean, because you are talking about offensive talent.
I'm talking about complete just offense.
Right.
Michael Jordan.
In terms of what he can and can't do, talent wise,
like Michael Jordan's a better basketball player. He's way more clutch. He turned it up in the playoffs.
Right.
You're never going to see a player. I always thought that everyone does that, but then when he retires, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people play for the regular season, then the postseason they stink.
Yeah.
Like you realize just how good Michael Jordan actually was.
Right.
So, like he averaged 30 points a game throughout his career, but in the playoffs he averaged 33.
Right. So right. He's just a different player.
He's just a different player. James Harden, on the other hand, in the playoffs,
is a different player in the other way, in the wrong way.
And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's him mentally. Maybe it's just teams maybe it's him running out of gas. Maybe his teams just know how to play against him. Mm-hmm. But when Oklahoma went to a championship against Cleveland a few years ago, and he just shit the bed. I don't think he ever got over that. When that happens to a young player, when they go to a championship game and they shit the bed, they never get over it. It's kind of like, I'm not going to say LeBron. He didn't shit the bed. Yes, he did.
He shit the bed against Dallas.
Well, did he play really well against San Antonio? Because he was in the championship before.
He did. He played well. He played well. He didn't play great, but he played well. Like he played well against San Antonio. Like he did. And they made sure he didn't go off because they knew that he's the only player that could. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't bad. He played well, but Dallas, he shit the bed. Like he had some kind of, I don't know what that was. I can't explain.
And I remember watching it because I was heavily against LeBron at that point. Heavily. Because of how he spurned the Knicks and went to Miami. I was heavily against him back then.
To spurn the Knicks, you would have to be like, he would have to say like, yeah, I'm going to come there. And then he's like, you know what, I'm not coming there. But no, he like, that was all in your head.
Listen, that was our plan, okay? That was our plan.
Okay, but it wasn't his plan.
But we unloaded teams. We unloaded players specifically to get LeBron James. But then our dumbass owner, James Dolan, said, hey, we're going after LeBron. He put it in the front page of the goddamn New York Post.
I don't think we ever had a major chance. I never did. I don't think we ever had a major chance. Do I think it may have crossed his mind? Yes. But I don't think... I think the only way... Like for one, Miami... Like, Pat Riley's just more stable general manager. And Miami's a better place to live. Well, I guess
at that point, it didn't matter. I mean, his friend was down there in Miami.
Plus
we were going to try to lure him to New York as well. Like we were going to give LeBron the keys to the, James Dolan was going to give him the keys to the organization, whoever you want. He could have got Carmelo too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He could have got wherever he wanted. Right. But James Dolan, being the person that he is, decides when LeBron comes to town, I'm going to give him my mixtape. You heard what he did, right?
What?
He gave LeBron his music album. James Dolan plays the jazz.
Oh yeah,
band.
He's a jazz. Yeah, he plays the guitar or something like that.
He plays the guitar. Yeah. Yeah. So James Dolan hands him a tape and says, "Hey, you need to play this for your friends." And LeBron just looked at it like, "Are you serious?
Are you shitting me?" I don't remember that happening. Oh my god! I'm embarrassed for him.
But James Dolan, he needs to go back to rehab, do whatever he was doing before, back in the early 2000s when he was, I don't know whether he was like drinking or whatever. Go back to rehab because it's not working.
I don't know how we got off the subject, but we started talking about the Tom Brady versus Belichick thing. I don't think we ever finished, did we?
About the Tom Brady, what
Like
Belichick?
who's more
Oh yeah,
who's more valuable to?
who's more valuable?
That's because we were starting to get to it. We didn't. I think now Jason thinks Tom Brady's the more valuable out of the
I'm
two.
LJ.
Okay, I'm sorry, LJ thinks that Brady's the more valuable. Now me, I don't know which one was more valuable. I think that it's pretty even because Belichick is why do I keep stopping? Anyway, Belichick when now granted, we got to remember Belichick made it to the playoffs as a Cleveland Brown coach before he got fired in Cleveland. So, we knew he could make the playoffs. So, it wasn't like he's terrible until Brady. Now, in New England, he was bad until Brady took over. And Brady was pretty pedestrian. He was a young quarterback. He was pretty pedestrian when he started. He was, getting 112, 150-yard games, whatever, one touchdown, no touchdowns. The defense was carrying those teams, and we all know Brady was a defensive guy. So, back then, the defense carried him. And then I say it took Brady at least to his third year when they won their second Super Bowl to start looking more like he was in control of things. But he still wasn't putting up any huge numbers. He was putting up better numbers. But he wasn't putting up huge numbers yet. And because remember, we used to debate about him versus Peyton Manning. And I always thought Brady was better. Well, I ain't gonna say I always thought, because I did think Manning was better at first. But then once Brady came into his own, I always thought Brady was better. But that wasn't until, I would say, if I had to guess, I would say around year 5, without the stats in front of me. I would say year 5 of Brady's career. I would say he was definitely looking like he was great. Looking like he was a great quarterback, not just a good quarterback with a great
his third Super Bowl, right? That was when he won his third. His 5th year is when he won his third Super Bowl.
That was about, yeah. He had 3 by then, yeah. So I would say that's when I
think he's pretty good too.
but think about how, obviously, but think about how people think about Terry Bradshaw. People don't think Terry Bradshaw was that great. You know what I mean? He has 4.
Those people would be right because Terry Bradshaw, he has more interceptions than touchdowns, and it wasn't like he got a bunch of interceptions later on in his career.
Right. That's just who he was. Right.
he had 4 of the greatest he had the greatest wide receiving core of any.
And he had a good running back.
Yeah,
he had the Steel Curtain defense.
Great defense, and he was the weakest part of that team. Literally, he was the weakest.
Right.
So
now back to Brady. Now, and then now see me again. I'm not saying Belichick is more valuable. I'm not saying Brady is more valuable. I'm saying it's kind of a hand-in-hand thing because when Brady did get hurt for that full season, they went 11-5. Now, granted, they didn't make the playoffs, but they were 11-5. 11-5. That was the first time an 11-5 team never made the playoffs. That was unprecedented at the time. Now we got a couple of 10-6 that never made it, that didn't make it. But we have 11-5 usually is automatic playoffs. But that year was the first, and that was without Brady. Brady got hurt in preseason, so they had Matt Castle, who we all know ain't good, but he was good for them. Belichick between Belichick and I think Charlie Weiss might have been the coordinator at that time. I don't know if it was Weiss or McDaniels, but they got the most out of him that year. and Belichick also, you know what I mean? Because he's the head coach. He gets the credit also. He gets most of the credit as the head coach. But, you know what I mean? They got the most out of him that year, went 11-5. So, it's we all know he's capable without Brady. And then Garoppolo came in. Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett went 3-1 when he was suspended. So, we all know Belichick can win. Now he hasn't proven that he can win a Super Bowl without him. So, you know what I mean? So, I'm not going to go ahead and assume that he can, but Tom Brady also hasn't won without Belichick. Not to mention that Brady was a 6th round pick, so it's if he was anywhere else in the NFL, would he be this great? You know what I mean? So you have to take that into account too. Is he as good? Would he be as good if it wasn't for Belichick?
No, I think he would be as good because the dude went to Michigan by a team, and he won a goddamn national championship
As the starter.
As a starter.
I thought he didn't start. I thought he didn't start in college.
Yeah, he started. He started for the national championship game. He was our starter, but they were splitting time between himself and someone who's not even.
Yeah, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Some of the H. Well, either way,
either way, like Tom Brady was splitting time. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't. And plus, like his first few years, they had what's his face? His son as a quarterback out there in Michigan.
Yeah, I remember what's his face. It was his son.
Yeah. What's his face? His son. Who went undefeated with the damn Dolphins. But yeah, like they had another quarterback out there, and they were pretty much splitting.
Greasy.
Yeah, Greasy. Yeah, and they were pretty much splitting time in Michigan, so you didn't really get a lot of Tom Brady in college, but when he did play, he lit it up. You know, he actually played really well in college. So if he didn't go to Michigan, he would have probably been like a first or second round pick because he would have probably went out there to like, you know, he's not from Michigan, so he probably would have went to like Santa Barbara. You know, he would have went out there to one of those
USC or UCLA.
USC. He would have went to UC. Yeah, he would have went to USC. He's a good quarterback. He would have went there. he would have went to like Stanford.
Or Stanford, right?
You know what I'm saying? Or Cal.
Unless he's
like
not that smart.
Yeah, he's not really that smart.
So forget about Stanford.
He went to Cal just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but go ahead. Like, yeah, make your case for Brady being good, or are you done?
No, I'm not done.
Okay,
when he was in college, his last year, which is 1999, he only played in 11. Well, he played 11 games. He threw for 2,217 yards. He only had 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So he didn't play full time. He was splitting a lot of time. So that's the reason why he was drafted in the 6th round. He would have got an opportunity without Bill Belichick, but I would put most of those wins on Tom Brady because just based on the fact that most of the time he's calling the plays out there. You know, like he's been calling the plays out there for a long time now.
Well,
it's not like 5 years or 6 years. He's been calling the plays out there for probably like 13 years, 13, 14 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. I mean, and that's makes sense too. I mean, I just think they both like it's hard to say.
I'm not taking all the credit away from Belichick. I'm just saying it's a little bit more lean towards Brady than Belichick, and I didn't think it was that before, but now I see it.
All right, so we'll move on from now. We'll let y'all decide. Like you said, our email address, I have to spell it out because my name is spelled a little different from every other Lemar. It's Lemar and LJ at gmail.com. So if you have any questions or anything that we might have missed, or you want to just put your opinions out there, let us know. And if we like what you said, then we'll bring it up on the show. But if not, we're not even going to acknowledge you. But
send news. What?
All right. So 2 more NFL topics. I want to get to so we got the new catch rule, and we got the new helmet rule. Did you hear about the helmet rule?
No, I didn't hear about the helmet rule.
Okay.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
This is going to be a problem because they're saying you can't lower your head to engage in anybody, offense or defense. You can't do it. You just can't do it. Or you could even get thrown out of the game for doing it. So it's like,
can't lower your head.
You can't lower your helmet to engage into a defender or offensive player. So a running back going up the middle, how is that gonna work when a running back is going through the hole? How is that gonna I don't know how that's gonna I need more specifics. That seems pretty broad and it seems pretty like a recipe for a lot of suspensions and ejections.
Well, the first person who's going to be ejected from that game is going to appeal it, and this is going to be a problem going forward. It's going to be a story. Yeah, I don't know why the NFL does this every year now with this new. He's been for like 10 years already.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He does this every year, and it's just for controversy. And it's starting.
You know what it was? It was that Ryan Shazier situation that I think made him want to change it. I think the Ryan Shazier thing made him feel like we better try to avoid people getting spinal injuries and stuff like that. So I think they went overboard. I just don't see how that's gonna work when we'll put it like this. Well, I don't even know how to put it. How are they going to not lower their I guess they would probably only call because they already have a rule in there in place for helmet to helmet, so it's like that's the rule. You just gotta enforce it. You know what I mean? I don't that's the rule. Just no helmet to helmet contact. Because even that's hard enough. They're struggling to avoid that. But that's so I guess
not putting your head down.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's not intent to hurt anybody.
Some of that is just human nature.
Yeah, especially when you go into somebody, you try to protect your eyes.
Right.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
So you leave with the crown of your head because you're protecting your eyes, your mouth, your nose. You don't want to get poked. You don't want to lose your eye. So a lot of guys, they don't want to get their face mask pulled. They don't want to get their
cranium cracked.
Yeah. So
they don't want to get their balloon popped. But yeah, I'm I don't know how that's gonna work.
It's not. I'm telling you, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be another story.
Every week, somebody's gonna be getting suspended from every game of every game scheduled. 32 players got suspended this week for lowering their head. I don't know how that's.
I tell you, it's gonna be it's gonna be mostly. It's gonna be mostly linebackers and running backs.
Yeah, because
because the defensive ends they look up when they tackle because they're looking at the quarterback and they're looking at him throwing the ball.
Right.
But in defensive ends they just they look up anyway because that's just what they do. But linebackers they like to hit hard.
Right.
Defensive ends just like to get tackles. Yeah. They're not hitting you hard.
Right. They just try to wrap you up. I don't know how and what makes it worse is the referees got to make snap decisions. I guess they could do replay, but that's just gonna slow the game down even more. And who's gonna challenge that anyway? Well, I guess you're gonna challenge that if it means a player could get a big penalty and a suspension and get an ejection, because they're talking about ejected players. So it's the referee got to sit there and make that decision if this guy intended on lower, because part of the rule is putting your head down with intention to make contact. So it's the referee got to make this decision and realize yeah, he probably did that on purpose. And then you got to throw the guy out.
I don't understand why the referee has to do that.
That's too much to me.
Those players have been taught how to play a game since they were young.
Right.
And I think that this is just a bad decision by the NFL. Yeah. They're really concerned about the concussion issue, but you know what you should do? Just have every player sign a waiver when they sign their rookie contract. They're saying I will not hold the NFL responsible for injuries I incur while I play football. Once you do that, we're gonna look it over. Okay, you signed your life away. Go play football.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Because they already know what they're getting into anyway. But just making it a legal thing would make it like, all right, well, if you really sign up for this now, it's up to you, and you can quit. Like there's players been retiring left and right for the past 5 years or so. Early when they get to around 29, 30, they're like, all right, well, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I mean? So, and you have that choice, you have that right, but it's a violent sport, and yeah, you can still try to limit injuries if you want, but like you said, there's got to be a waiver or something, because I don't know how you're gonna play football without violence. And I refuse to watch flag football.
Yeah, so that's why I've been hearing that football's not going to be around. People say things like, "Oh, I'm not having my son play football." As long as there's money in football, football will always.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it'll. Yeah, there's gonna be a. Yeah, now granted, there's gonna be more parents that don't want their kids to play, but there's gonna be just as many people that may not have made it before, but getting an opportunity now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there are going to be people that are hungry, and they see dollar signs on TV every week. It's kind of like the boxing thing.
Right.
It happened for years. Like all the biggest guys went to go boxing because it was a popular sport.
Right.
And people started going away from boxing. Now you see all the heavyweights. Can you name a heavyweight? I don't watch boxing like I used to. Heavyweights used to be all over TV. Now, not as much because they're all playing football.
Right.
Guys who would usually box, bigger guys, are saying, "Nah, I'm not going to box. Why do I need to do that for? I'll just play football." The popularity of boxing's gone down, especially for the heavyweights. You can't name a heavyweight without naming somebody over 40.
Right. Like, does the Klitschko still fight? I know when he lost his belt like a couple years ago.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you who the champion is. I know that guys who follow boxing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the diehards. I'm talking about the casual boxing fan.
Right.
There used to be such.
I used to be one.
I really don't care much about boxing anymore. When your top fighter.
Well, especially now that Mayweather's done. Once Mayweather leaves, that's it. There's no reason to watch boxing anymore.
You were much better. Boxing was much better about promoting young guys years ago. Mm-hmm. Boxing, they used to promote, all the lightweights, light heavyweights, the heavyweights. It used to be on every week. Where you used to watch these guys who every couple months they used to come around. They used to say, "Okay, I know that guy." And especially with Boxing After Dark, I used to watch on HBO. When I was a teenager, I used to just watch Boxing After Dark, watch Angel Man Freddy. Who's the guy from Jersey City who passed away? I used to watch those guys. Arturo Gatti. I used to watch them, and then you see them go against like all these famous boxers, get the shit kicked out of them. But you follow the guys, so it had more. It built the guys up. So now it's just not the same. But in football, going back to football, there are always going to be big guys who want to take their aggression out on other big guys. That's just life,
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
I think that this is going to be something that the NFL is going to use within the next few years to pay the players less.
Right.
Because the NFL does not like giving out big contracts.
Right.
Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, the NFL has shown that they don't really care about the players until the players start suing them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. While we're still on that subject, did you hear that Mayweather is trying to do some UFC stuff? I'm like, are you crazy?
Mayweather is Mayweather's a self promoter. Yeah. If you ever follow him on Instagram, he's terrible. He's terrible at that. Like he's always with his money. I really could care less. He always flaunted to people who don't have anything, that seems completely disrespectful.
Right.
But to each his own.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it two ways. I look at it as, I definitely get the disrespectful side of it, but I also I also look at it as there's people out there, like there's young kids out there that see that and want the money. So and some of them act like him. I hate the way he acts, so I'm not promoting that. But there are people out there that when they see people like us that make, people like, black people make money or whatever, they're like, all right, well, I want to be able to do that and flaunt it. Like, I hate the flaunting part. I hate people throwing their money around like that. That's annoying to me, and that is very disrespectful. But that also motivates people sometimes in a weird way, like especially like people that come from nothing, like hood people. They see that and realize that they can be that. You just hope that when they become adults, that they can that they get smarter and manage their money.
That's not real. To be honest with you, the way he gets his money, you're not going to get your money.
Right.
I don't.
That's true too.
I'm not trying to discourage anyone.
No, I mean he's one in a million.
But he's an exception, not the rule.
Right. He's one in a million.
He's just an exception. He's not what you inspired to be, because you're not going to be him.
Yeah.
Like that's just the bottom line. There's only going to be one Floyd Mayweather. You're not going to be Floyd Mayweather. Like the only thing that you can do is the only thing that he can do that will inspire the next generation is to handle his money in a different way, do different things.
Right.
Like instead of flaunting it and going to strip
throwing it away,
throwing it around, lighting on fire, and just showing all types of roguish behavior. You can do other things with it, but this isn't the fucking positive podcast. So,
hey, but it's funny because on another or maybe the next podcast, I do want to get into something like that, something along those lines, but I do want to save it for another day.
Okay.
So I guess we can wrap it up because we done did. I'm sure we did about an hour by now. Like,
okay.
So that's our first podcast, y'all. Like,
that's the first podcast. Remember, this is What the Hell You Talking About. We didn't really argue this time, but I can guarantee you something's going to happen.
Yeah.
The next
I'm gonna punch him through the screen one of these days.
Where I'm gonna have a take that he just doesn't understand,
and vice versa. Check us out. I'm gonna post this on YouTube if it came out right. I don't know if it totally came out right. I'm gonna figure that YouTube part out. Our YouTube channel, we got our Facebook page. It's Lemar LJ. Our Twitter handle is, what is our Twitter handle, Jason? LJ.
Oh man, you done messed up twice already.
I'm not used to calling you LJ. It's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You can't be doing that. Our Twitter handle is WTHAYTA_podcast. That means, what the hell are you talking about? _podcast. I just have the acronym. Lemar and LJ. We have one follower. Okay.
And it's probably me. I think I followed us.
I have 2 Twitter handles and I'm not following us. All right.
We got to get our numbers up, man. I'm probably gonna do an Instagram. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with that yet, but I'm probably gonna do an Instagram. I'm probably gonna make us an Instagram, but I'll get back to you on that. Let me bring up the YouTube because I can't even remember what it was.
I'm gonna do a Snapchat, but I'm gonna put some digital bees on it. So.
Digital bees. Our YouTube is just Lemar and LJ. Lemar, LEMAR space and space LJ. So Lemar and LJ is our YouTube channel, and I'm gonna post that as soon as possible. And we're gonna put this podcast up as soon as possible. I still haven't totally figured out how to do all that yet, so by Sunday, this will all be up.
Yeah, it'll all be up, and we look to do this weekly. You know, I'm trying to get this done on Fridays. You know.
It's probably gonna be done Friday night, every Friday night, and it'll be posted by once we get it figured out, we're gonna have it posted by the end of the night. But
yeah,
I can't promise this will be posted all the time. But I guess by the time you hear this, I don't know what day it's gonna be. So we will see.
All right, thank you everybody. It's our first podcast. See you again next week.
All right.
Play the music.
Say.